Good evening and thanks for joining us. It was a prison break that caught the world's attention, and tonight new details are emerging about that audacious escape from a Quebec prison. Two high-security inmates were snatched from the jail by helicopter, swinging from ropes in what witnesses described as a James Bond moment. Mike Armstrong has our top story tonight.
There isn't usually much to see at the Saint-Jérôme prison. Driving by on the highway, it tends to be just a lot of razor wire. Yesterday was different.
Everybody's sounding.
A strange helicopter flying over pulled people out of their homes yesterday. When the chopper flew back over this residential neighborhood about 5 minutes later, it had people dangling from it.
Two guys with the rope.
Okay. Outside the helicopter?
Yeah, outside of the helicopter.
When you hear about audacious prison breaks for the record books...
Now this one's making news around the world, hardly run-of-the-mill. It started at this helicopter tour company in Tremblant, about 90 minutes northwest of Montreal. Two men hired a chopper for a little sightseeing. Once in the air, they pulled a gun on the pilot. The hijackers forced the pilot to fly about 70 kilometers southeast to Saint-Jérôme. The chopper landed on the roof of the prison at about 2:20 in the afternoon. It didn't stay for long. The passengers affixed a rope ladder to the chopper and threw the other end down to the prison yard. 3 prisoners started climbing out, but none of them made it before the chopper took off. One of them stayed on the ground and was left behind. Another was dangling from the rope ladder, flying through the air, and the other was holding on outside, standing on the landing gear. They flew that way, outside for a few minutes, before the chopper landed a couple of kilometers away to let them in. Then they took off again. From there, the chopper went to a hotel parking lot in the town of l'Estérel. The hijackers released the pilot. He flew back to Tremblant. The 4 men jumped into a parked Cadillac Escalade and headed east to the town of Chertsey. Now, the men were chased by police. This was a massive operation. 3 were cornered and captured at a remote cottage, but not without incident.
When they got out of their vehicle, they started shooting at the police officers. We shot back, but nobody was injured following that, the shots.
The 4th man was tracked and eventually captured just after midnight, walking on a country road. The 4 men appeared in court in Saint-Jérôme this afternoon. They face a long list of charges, including attempted murder and hijacking an aircraft. All 4 are known to police, one of them a man with close ties to the Hells Angels. Benjamin Hudon Barbeau was in prison on a weapons possession charge. He was found guilty of a double murder a couple of years ago, but was freed on appeal when a witness recanted her testimony. Prison officials are answering some uncomfortable questions today. The facility is bursting at the seams, 114% capacity. There was a small riot last month. There's also a report a net to cover the prison courtyard has been purchased, but not yet installed. Mike Armstrong, Global News, Saint-Jérôme, Quebec.
It is the stuff of Hollywood, but helicopter-assisted jailbreaks are more common than you might think. Canada's first was in 1990, when 2 men were plucked from a prison in BC's Fraser Valley. They were captured 2 days later on a nearby island. In 1971, an American businessman convicted of murder fled a Mexican jail in a chopper, and he later wrote a book about it. Then there's Pascal Payette from France. He used a helicopter to escape 3 times, most recently in 2007. He's now in a jail in a secret location.